If you have ever shown up to the water with a bucket of dead minnows, you already know how fast that morning can go sideways. I killed more bait than I want to admit before I figured out what I was doing wrong. And the frustrating thing is, none of it was complicated. Every single reason fathead minnows die in a bait bucket has a simple fix that costs almost nothing to set up. Once I understood what was actually killing them, I went from losing half a bucket before I even left the driveway to keeping minnows healthy and active for weeks at a time. Here are the 6 things I was getting wrong. Number 6, not enough oxygen in the water. This is the one that kills the most bait for the most anglers, and it is also the easiest to miss because the water looks fine. Minnows do not need a lot of space. They need a constant supply of dissolved oxygen in the water. They are sitting in a sealed container or a bucket. With no surface, agitation will deplete that oxygen. In a matter of hours, depending on how many fish you have in there and how warm the water is, the fix is either a battery-operated aerator from any sporting goods store, or in a pinch, you can shake the container vigorously every 15 to 20 minutes to reintroduce oxygen at the surface. The aerator is the better solution by a wide margin. A small aquarium aerator with a stone runs less than $10, runs on a couple of D batteries or a small rechargeable pack, and it will keep the oxygen level stable in a 10-gallon container for a full day on the water. The 10-gallon size matters more than most people realize. Overcrowding is a version of oxygen depletion that happens faster. If you have 3 dozen minnows in a 5-gallon bucket with an aerator running, you're still pulling oxygen out of that water faster than the stone can replace it. 1 minnow per roughly 1 quart of water is the safe density for a stable container. More than that, and you are fighting the math. No matter how good your aeration is, I keep 1 clip to the rim of my minnow bucket at all times. It is the single most important piece of equipment for keeping bait healthy, and it is the last thing most beginners think about when they are setting up for a trip. Number 5, stress from light and exposure. Fathead minnows are prey fish. Their entire nervous system is calibrated to expect predators from above. When you put them in a clear container and carry them around in full daylight, they spend the entire time in a high alert stress state. That stress kills them almost as reliably as oxygen depletion. Just more slowly, a minnow under constant stress burns through its energy reserves faster than it can recover, stops eating, weakens, and dies before you ever get to use it. The fix is a container that blocks light from the sides and top, a solid colored bucket with a lid that allows airflow but cuts off the visual exposure. Also helps to place a few small objects in the bottom of the container, pieces of plastic tubing, rubber corks, or even a handful of small smooth stones. Give the minnows something to hold position near. Prey fish in the wild shelter against structure when they feel exposed. Give them structure in the bucket and their stress level drops noticeably. You can actually see the difference. A stressed minnow swims erratically near the surface and gasps. A settled minnow holds position near the bottom and breathes normally. That settled minnow stays healthy 3 to 4 times longer. One more thing on stress that most people skip over. Temperature swings between your storage water and your bait. Water stress minnows badly. If you pull minnows from a cold tank at the bait shop and drop them into warm bucket water, they go into immediate thermal shock. Acclimate them slowly by floating the bag or container in your bucket for 10 minutes. Let the temperatures equalize before you open the container. It takes almost no extra time, and it eliminates one of the quieter stress killers that nobody in the bait shop is going to explain to you on the way out the door. Number 4, water pollution. From dead and dying fish, this is the one that creates a chain reaction if you let it go. 1 minnow dies in your bucket, and within a few hours, the decomposition process begins releasing ammonia into the water. Ammonia, in the concentration a single decomposing fish produces, will stress and eventually kill every other healthy minnow in that same container. The fix is immediate removal. The moment you see a minnow acting erratically, listing to one side or sitting motionless on the bottom, pull it out before it dies in the bucket. A small fine mesh net takes about 10 seconds to run through the container. Check your bait every hour when you're on the water. Check it every few hours when you're storing it at home. 1 dead fish left in overnight will often mean 20 dead fish by morning. It is not the death that causes the problem. It is leaving the dead fish in the water that does. I started keeping a small net clipped to the side of my bucket, specifically for this. It costs almost nothing, and it has saved entire batches of minnows more than once. Number 3, not feeding them on the right schedule. Most anglers never feed their minnows at all. They figure bait fish are temporary and feeding them is not worth the effort. But if you're keeping minnows for more than a day or 2, a hungry minnow is a weak minnow, and a weak minnow gets used as bait before you even get it on the hook. Fathead minnows in warm water above 65 degrees Fahrenheit need a small feeding every 2 days to maintain their condition In cold water, below 55 degrees, their metabolism slows considerably, and once a week is enough to keep them in good shape. The food itself does not need to be anything complicated. A small pinch of crushed fish flake food from any pet store works perfectly. The key word is small. Overfeeding is worse than not feeding at all. Uneaten food sinks to the bottom of the container and begins decomposing immediately, which produces the same ammonia problem as a dead minnow, and it can crash an entire healthy bucket in under 12 hours. A pinch the size of your thumbnail spread across the surface of the water is enough for 3 to 4 dozen minnows. Anything they have not consumed in 20 minutes should be removed. I use a fine mesh strainer to skim the surface after each feeding. It takes 30 seconds, and it keeps the water clean between changes. Number 2, chlorine in tap water. This is the one that catches people off guard the most. You set up a clean 10-gallon container. You fill it with fresh tap water, you drop in your minnows, and by morning half of them are dead. The tap water looks clean, and it is clean for human use. But municipal water treatment adds chlorine to kill bacteria. And the same chlorine concentration that makes water safe for drinking is toxic to fish at any exposure level. The fix does not require a chemical dechlorinator, although those work fine if you want to use one. If you fill your container and run a vigorous aerator in it for 4 to 6 hours, the chlorine off-gases naturally from the water surface through agitation. By the time those hours are up, the water is safe to put minnows into. The longer you run the aerator before adding fish, the better. I fill my container the evening before a trip, run the aerator overnight. And by morning the water is fully conditioned without any added product at all, if you are in a hurry and need water ready faster. Running the aerator at maximum agitation for 2 hours gets you most of the way there for fatheads, which tolerate a small residual level. Better than more sensitive species do. One extra step that helps is using cold water from the tap rather than room temperature. Cold water holds dissolved gases, including chlorine, differently than warm water, and it gives you a cooler starting temperature in the container, which reduces stress on the minnows and slows the oxygen depletion rate at the same time. The water temperature and the chlorine issue both get better with the same cold water approach. 2 problems solved with one habit change. Number 1, choosing bad minnows at the bait shop. This is the one that starts before you even get home, and it is the one that most anglers spend 0 time thinking about at the counter. When you pull minnows out of a bait shop tank, you are pulling them from a population that may already have sick fish in it. One infected minnow in your container can spread disease to every healthy fish in the bucket within 24 to 48 hours. Before you scoop your minnows, look at the tank for a full minute. Look for any fish that are swimming at an odd angle or listing to one side, any fish sitting motionless near the surface or at the bottom, any fish with visible white spots, cloudy patches, or damaged fins. If you see any of those signs in that tank, ask them to use a different tank or go somewhere else. When you get your minnows home, quarantine any that look questionable in a separate small container for a day before adding them to your main bucket. A $2 plastic storage bin works fine for this. It takes almost no extra effort, and it prevents one sick fish from wiping out the healthy ones you paid for. The selection process at the counter also means watching how the minnows are netted. A rough scoop that slams fish against the net damages their scales and protective slime coat. Scale damage is not always visible, but it opens the fish to infection immediately. If the bait shop is rough with the net, ask them to be more careful, or use a slow sweeping net motion yourself if they let you scoop your own minnow with an intact slime coat and clean, conditioned water. With stable oxygen and the right feeding schedule, they'll stay healthy and active for weeks. That is not an exaggeration. The setup takes one afternoon to put together once, and it replaces the routine of buying fresh bait before every single trip. Quick note before you head out. If you want the complete system for putting more fish in the boat, everything is inside. The Angler's Vault, 8 modules covering solid earth theory, barometric pressure, and reading water, without any electronics or any subscription fee. 10 completely legal homemade bait recipes and 12 full species profiles, plus a full annual fishing calendar with moon overlays for every month of the year. Scan the QR code in the top left corner, or click the first link in the description. The complete system is inside the Angler's Vault.